I never thought my life would change in a single random morning at work. And definitely not like this. I walked into the office like usual, coffee in one hand, laptop bag slung over my shoulder, half awake and late, like always. I remember thinking, just another boring Monday, survive meetings, ignore Karen from HR, avoid my boss, go home. But when I stepped inside the building, everything felt off. Whispers. Eyes on me. Like they all knew something I didn't. Then my boss, Ms. Rivera, called out. Ethan. My office. Now. Her voice was calm, but sharp. Like a knife hidden in silk. My stomach dropped. Was I getting fired? I forced a smile and walked in, trying to look confident. She closed the door behind me. Her eyes scanned me slowly, not in a weird way, more like she was analyzing me. And then she said the line that flipped my world upside down. Effective today, you'll be presenting as female at work. I blinked. I laughed, thinking it was a prank. But she didn't smile. You're serious? I whispered. She nodded, sliding a folder toward me. It had a pink post-it note. Company image project. Gender presentation immersion test. I felt dizzy. You want me to, what? Wear dresses? Makeup? Why me? She leaned forward, her expression softening slightly. You're the perfect candidate. And don't worry, you'll be guided. I opened my mouth to argue, to refuse, to scream, I didn't even know. But before I could, she added quietly. You can walk away, but you'd lose your position in our leadership track. I froze. My dream promotion. My future. Gone, if I said no. My voice cracked. I'll do it. She smiled gently, not mocking, more encouraging than I expected. Good. Let's begin. And my world shattered and rebuilt, all in one heartbeat. That first outfit haunts me. Soft pastel blouse. A pleated skirt. Stockings. Cute flats. I stared at it like it was alien. Like it would swallow me whole. I can't do this, I whispered to myself in the dressing room mirror. But I had to. My hands shook as I pulled the skirt up. The fabric felt light. Too light. Airy. Vulnerable. The stockings slid up my legs and I felt a chill, like I'd crossed an invisible line I could never go back from. The blouse hugged my frame in a way I wasn't used to. Soft. Feminine. I barely recognized myself. Then came the wig. Long chestnut waves that made my face look softer instantly. And makeup. Foundation. Mascara. A hint of blush. My reflection wasn't Ethan anymore. She was someone else. Someone delicate. Someone I didn't know. I stared. And for a second, I didn't hate it. But fear crashed in again. What will everyone think? My throat tightened. I almost ripped everything off. Then there was a knock. You ready? Ms. Rivera's voice. No. Absolutely not. But I forced words out. Why yeah. When I stepped into the hallway, the world went silent. Eyes widened. Whispers rose. My cheeks burned. My palms shook. I felt exposed. Fragile. Like everyone could see every insecurity I'd ever had. One coworker muttered, "Is that really him?" Another whispered, "He actually looks kinda cute." Was that meant as comfort? Insult? I couldn't tell. I wanted to disappear. Melt into the floor. Run home and hide forever. But I kept walking. One step. Then another. Ms. Rivera guided me to my desk like nothing unusual was happening. If you need breaks, take them. Don't push yourself, she murmured. Why was she being kind? Was this some psychological experiment? Was she trying to break me? I had no idea. I just knew I felt like I was living someone else's life. The first hours were torture. Every keystroke felt like a spotlight. Every walk to the printer felt like a runway I never agreed to walk on. Even my voice betrayed me. Too deep for the look, too nervous to hide. When lunchtime hit, I thought the worst was over, until the girls from accounting showed up. Come sit with us. We want to help. Before I could answer, I was already dragged away. They asked questions, endless questions. Is the skirt comfortable? Do you like wearing makeup? Do you feel cute? Cute. That word again. I fumbled through awkward replies. My heart was pounding so hard I swore they could hear it. Then one of them, Sarah, leaned close. You're doing really well. Seriously. I know this feels crazy. And for the first time, I felt seen. Someone understood I wasn't just playing dress-up, I was surviving emotional chaos. But the day wasn't done testing me. Later, in the hallway, I heard it. A group of guys, laughing. Look, it's Ethanina. Bros living in 2050. Fists clenched. Jaw tight. I wanted to shout. To say it wasn't my choice. To explain. But instead, I straightened my posture. Lifted my chin. Not because I felt brave. Because if I crumbled, they'd win. And surprisingly, they shut up. Not impressed, confused. Like confidence wasn't what they expected from me. Maybe it wasn't what I expected from me either. When I got home that night, I collapsed on my bed fully dressed. I stared at the ceiling, mascara smudging. What am I becoming? Not just externally. Inside. Somewhere between panic and shame and confusion, something else had taken root. Curiosity. Who was the person in the mirror today? Was she someone I hated, or someone I feared I might grow to understand? I didn't know. I was terrified to find out. But the next morning, I got up. I dressed. Not because I was forced. Because something in me whispered. You started. You don't run now. Days blurred into routines. Skirts felt less strange. Makeup became a ritual. Voice lessons. Walking practice. Confidence training. Ms. Rivera was always there, calm, patient, guiding. Not controlling me, teaching me. It stopped feeling like punishment and became a challenge. A strange, beautiful, terrifying challenge. And then came the night everything changed. Company networking gala. Formal dress code. And my outfit? A soft satin evening dress. Simple. Elegant. Feminine without shouting. When I stepped into the event, conversation paused. Not in mockery. In awe. Someone whispered, "She's stunning." Someone else said, "Is that the same person?" Wow. My chest tightened, but not from fear. From pride. Real pride. I felt powerful. Seen. Valid in some strange new way. Like I had unlocked a version of myself I never imagined existed. And then it happened, the confrontation. A senior partner cornered Ms. Rivera. "This project is absurd. That boy shouldn't be humiliated like this." Humiliated. The word stabbed me. I stepped forward before she could defend me. I wasn't humiliated. I grew. I learned confidence. I faced fears I didn't know I had. This didn't break me, it built me. The partner stared, shocked. Ms. Rivera looked at me, like she always knew I had that strength. I realized something in that moment. Nobody forced me to continue. I chose to. Not because I wanted to be a woman, but because this journey made me understand myself, and my fears, in a way nothing else ever had. The trial period ended soon after. Ms. Rivera called me in again. "You don't have to do it anymore," she said softly. "You can return to normal attire." I expected relief. Instead, my heart twisted. Return to old me? Old insecurities? Old shell? I looked at the outfits in my bag, both masculine and feminine. And I smiled. I think I want both. Not one identity. Not one box. Just me. Whoever that was becoming. Ms. Rivera nodded proudly. That's the most authentic answer you could give. Now? Some days I wear suits. Some days skirts. Sometimes eyeliner. Sometimes stubble. And you know what? I've never felt more like myself than I do now, in this beautiful, confusing, evolving in-between space. People still talk. Some whisper. Some stare. But now I walk past them head held high. Because I'm not hiding from myself anymore. I'm learning to be myself, whatever that means today. If you've ever been afraid to express who you are, if you've ever felt trapped by expectations, hear me. Your identity isn't a cage, it's a journey. And you're allowed to explore it. At your pace. In your way. What started as something forced, became my path to freedom. Not feminine. Not masculine. Just authentic. And that is the most powerful transformation of all. Thank you for listening. And remember, who you are is never something to fear. I thought the hardest part of my journey was over. I thought facing coworkers in heels and mascara, walking through the office with trembling legs and a fragile smile, was the mountain peak. Turns out, that was only the base camp. The real climb, the terrifying, beautiful, confusing climb, came after I had a choice. Because choice is louder than force. When you're pushed, you scream. When you choose, you whisper, and listen to what your heart says back.
And mine wasn't quiet anymore.
When the project officially ended, I stood in front of my closet, staring at two worlds. To the left, button-down shirts,
Dress pants. The old me. To the right, soft blouses. Pastel skirts.
A wig resting on a foam head like a sleeping version of someone I met inside myself. I touched the shirt first, crisp, stiff, familiar. Then my fingers drifted to a lilac knit top.
Soft. Calm. Gentle.
How could fabric feel like a question? The mirror watched me like it was waiting for an answer. What do I want to be today? I whispered. And the strangest thing happened. I didn't panic. I breathed. Not because I was sure, but because it was okay not to be. I chose a simple blend. Fitted jeans, a soft women's sweater, clean face, natural hair.
Not him. Not her. Just me.
When I walked into the office, whispers happened again, but different this time. Curiosity, not judgment. Confusion, but not cruelty. And then there she was, Ms. Rivera, leaning by her glass office door, coffee in hand, watching me like she already knew my answer before I did. You chose comfort today, she said with a tiny smile.
I swallowed.
I chose breathing. That, she replied, is exactly why I believed in you. The office didn't know what to do with me.
Was I still Ethan? Was I becoming someone else? Was this temporary? Permanent?
Honestly,
I didn't know either. Some colleagues tried too hard to be casual.
Hey, man. Hey. Others overcorrected. Girl, you look adorable. Wait, sorry, I didn't mean.
I laughed through the awkwardness.
Identity isn't a switch. It's a dimmer, slow, messy, experimental.
But the surprising part?
The more comfortable I became, the more comfortable they became. Confidence doesn't silence the world, it just changes its pitch.
Nights were the hardest.
When the office chatter faded and I sat alone in my dim apartment, the silence got loud again. I opened my vanity mirror. Yeah, I have one now.
Brushes. Lip balms.
A few eyeshadow palettes the accounting girls gifted me for emergencies. And wigs, 3 now. Chestnut waves, sleek black bob, playful blonde curls. I didn't put them on because I hated being a man. I put them on because trying felt better than hiding.
Some nights I looked soft. Some nights I looked sharp. Some nights
I wiped everything off and stared at my bare reflection until tears blurred it.
Not sadness. Not regret. Becoming isn't a straight line.
And every tear watered a truth I didn't have words for yet. One Friday, my best friend from high school, Chris, visited.
He looked around at the makeup and wigs and blurted,
"Dude, what is all this?" I froze. There are moments in life where time pauses, waiting to see who you'll become when it moves again. I inhaled slowly. I'm figuring myself out. He stared, confused.
Not cruel, just lost.
So are you, becoming a girl?
No, I said gently.
I'm becoming me.
He didn't get it. Not then. He shifted uncomfortably.
I just don't want you to embarrass yourself. The words stung. Not because they were harsh, but because they came from fear disguised as concern. I did that already, I whispered. Every day I hid from who I might be.
He didn't respond. Some bridges don't burn.
They stretch, waiting for both sides to learn how to meet again. The accounting girls invited me out again. This time, shopping in a cafe. They insisted I try a full feminine look again, only if I want.
I hesitated. Fear still lived under my skin like electricity. But curiosity lived too.
We transformed in Sarah's apartment. Makeup, hair, a blush pink sundress that swayed when I moved.
And when I looked at myself, I didn't see someone pretending. I saw someone exploring. Someone possible.
Walking outside.
Terrifying.
Every car, every footstep, every laugh. I thought it was about me. But with every minute in the sun, fear melted like morning frost. At the cafe, the barista smiled warmly. "What can I get for you, miss?"
Miss.
That word didn't feel wrong. It didn't feel right either. It just felt like permission to exist without explaining. We sat in a sunbeam, iced coffee in hand, and I laughed, a real laugh, not nervous. And Sarah looked at me, eyes soft. "You know," she said, "you glow like this." I blushed, but not out of embarrassment.
Out of being seen. Monday hit like a punch.
Someone posted a picture, me in the sundress, on the company anonymous forum. Title, "Is this our new office influencer?"
Most comments were kind, curious, even supportive. But a few weren't.
Bro needs help. Pick a side, dude. Attention seeker. Old insecurities roared awake.
I panicked. Locked myself in a bathroom stall. Tried to breathe. Why did opinions hurt so much?
Why did acceptance matter so deeply? Was I weak?
Or just human? Footsteps approached.
Ms. Rivera's voice. Ethan? Open the door.
I did. She didn't scold me. She handed me tissues quietly.
Then she said the line that stitched my heart back together. You're not confused. You're evolving. People fear evolution when they haven't begun their own.
I cried.
Not because I was breaking, but because I was healing. Later that afternoon, a meeting was called. Optional, but everyone came.
It wasn't about me, but it was for me.
Ms. Rivera stood tall at the front. This company will never punish authenticity, she said firmly. Mockery ends now.
Silence. My heartbeat echoed in my ears. Then, clapping.
Slow, soft at first, then spreading.
Not everyone clapped.
But enough did. And in that moment, the office didn't feel like a battlefield. It felt like soil, where something new could grow. Where I could grow.
Weeks passed. Some days I dressed femme. Some days mask.
Some days both, a blend only I could name. I didn't chase labels. I chased peace. I walked hallways not like I was performing,
but belonging. And the world adjusted.
People didn't whisper anymore.
They asked. They learned.
They respected.
Even Chris texted.
I want to understand.
Can we talk? Growth. Slow. Real.
I stood in front of the mirror again, the same one that once made me tremble. I held my suit jacket in one hand and a delicate pearl hair clip in the other. And I smiled. Because I didn't have to choose.
I clipped the pearl into my hair. Slipped the jacket on.
Looked at myself, soft and strong, blended and whole.
Not forced.
Not confused. Just becoming.
And I whispered to my reflection.
I'm proud of us.
Not of the clothes. Not of passing.
Not of perfection.
Of courage. Curiosity. Continuing.
Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is try again tomorrow.
And I will.
If you feel stuck between worlds, if you fear being too much, or not enough. Remember.
You do not have to decide who you are in one day. You get to explore. You get to pause. You get to change. You get to come back.
You get to grow. And you do not need permission to exist in the in-between.
Becoming isn't a destination.
It's a journey.
And yours has already begun. I'm walking mine too. Step by shaky step. And we're going to be okay.
Better than okay. I once thought wearing a dress at work was the hardest thing I'd ever do. Turns out, bravery looks different when no one is holding your hand. When Ms. Rivera first pushed me into that feminine world, I was terrified. But she was there.
The girls from accounting were there.
The office was forced to witness me, but at least I wasn't alone.
Alone is different. Alone is the door handle in your own hand. Alone is your heartbeat in your own ears.
Alone is you choosing yourself without someone clapping or guiding or protecting.
And that Saturday morning, I woke up knowing I had to try it. Not for a project. Not because anyone told me to. Not even to prove anything. Just to see if I could.
I sat at my vanity, the one thing I never planned on buying when this all started, staring at myself.
Sweatpants.
Bare face.
Pillow-flattened hair. A blank canvas.
My fingers trembled as I reached for foundation. Not fear, anticipation.
I blended slowly. Like every brushstroke was a question. Soft brows. Neutral eyes.
A hint of pink on my cheeks and lips.
Natural. Gentle.
Trying to look like me, just softer.
Then came the clothes.
I didn't want anything flashy. No dress this time. No heels.
Just something that felt like breathing, not performing.
Light jeans that hugged my body differently than men's jeans ever did. A cream cardigan over a lace-trimmed tank top. White sneakers.
Simple. Warm.
Vulnerable. When I looked in the mirror, my breath caught. I didn't look like a character anymore. I didn't look like a dare or an experiment.
I looked like someone stepping into themselves. My heart whispered. Maybe, this is allowed.
If mirrors are soft, doorways are sharp.
I put my hand on the knob and froze. What if they stare?
What if they laugh? What if I panic halfway and can't breathe? What if I forget how to walk, how to talk, how to exist?
And then a quieter thought came. But what if you're strong enough? I opened the door. The hallway felt huge. The steps to the street felt echo loud. Every sound felt like spotlight noise even though no one was watching. And then, sunlight hit me. Warm. Real. Gentle.
I breathed.
1 step. 2.
The world didn't shatter.
A woman jogging past me. She smiled politely. A man walked his dog without even glancing. No one screamed. Nothing caught fire. My world didn't collapse. It continued. And I was in it.
I picked a small cafe, one owned by an older couple who always played soft jazz and smelled like cinnamon and fresh bread.
I reached the door. My hand shook again.
Just walk in, I whispered. Just one moment at a time. Inside, the bell jingled.
The barista looked up, a girl my age. She smiled.
Good morning. What can I get for you? Not confusion. Not hesitation. Just normal.
I swallowed.
My voice came out soft, shaky, but mine. Iced vanilla latte, please.
Name. I froze.
Names matter. Names are small but hold oceans.
I could say Ethan. Safe.
Expected.
Familiar. But today wasn't about safety. Today was about honesty. Lee.
There was a heartbeat of silence, the kind where the universe watches closely.
Then she wrote it. Smiled.
Beautiful name. I exhaled like I'd been holding air for months.
I picked the corner table. Hands wrapped around the cold cup. Heart racing like a hummingbird. Everything felt so big.
The clink of cups.
Soft chatter. Spoons against glass.
Every sound felt louder because I was listening for danger that never came. A father lifted his toddler to grab napkins. The little girl looked at me curiously, then waved like I was a fairy in a storybook.
I waved back.
And that tiny moment, that innocent acceptance, warmed my chest like sunlight breaking clouds.
But then, a group of guys walked in. Loud. Confident.
The type that used to intimidate me even before all this.
Panic rose like a tidal wave. My breath quickened. My fingers shook. For a second, I almost bolted. Then I remembered my breath. My heartbeat. My coffee in my hands.
I wasn't invisible, but I wasn't breaking. I whispered to myself.
Stay. You deserve to exist here. And I stayed.
As I stood to leave, the barista called out softly. Hey. I turned. She tucked a tiny napkin into my hand with a shy smile. You did great today.
I froze. She whispered like she was protecting a sacred moment.
I hope you come back.
My eyes prickled. My voice stayed tiny. Thank you. Not for the coffee. For seeing me. The street wasn't a threat anymore. People passed me like I belonged in the air they breathed. Kids laughed somewhere near the park. Cars slowed for crosswalks. Life continued. And so did I. My reflection in shop windows didn't shock me this time. It comforted me. I wasn't a man in women's clothes. I was a person learning how to feel real. I closed the door and leaned against it, chest rising and falling like I'd just climbed a mountain. But instead of collapsing from exhaustion, I smiled. A raw smile. A true one. Because I didn't walk out as a dare. I walked out as me.
I whispered into the quiet apartment. You did it. And in the silence, my heart answered back.
I'm proud of you. Not for being feminine. Not for passing. Not for bravery seen by others. For choosing myself, even when no one was watching.